Everyone keeps asking the same question about this car. Is this the next Chiron? And honestly, that's already the wrong way to look at it. Because the moment you stand next to the Bugatti Tourbillon, you realize something feels different. Not louder, not faster, just heavier, emotionally. This isn't a flex, it's a closing statement. I mean, think about it. Bugatti didn't have to do this. They could have just electrified the W16, slapped on more motors, chased another top-speed headline, and called it a day. Instead, they threw the entire engine away. The W16 is gone, and in its place is this absolutely unhinged 8.3-liter naturally aspirated V16 that revs to 9,000 RPM. 9,000! That alone should tell you what kind of car this is trying to be. When you hear hybrid hypercar, you expect silence, efficiency, maybe a little guilt reduction. That's not what's happening here. Because yes, it's a plug-in hybrid. Yes, it has 3 electric motors. Yes, it can drive quietly for around 37 miles on electricity alone. But none of that is the point. The point is that Bugatti used electricity to protect the soul of the engine, not replace it. And when you realize that, the Tourbillon suddenly makes sense. I'll be honest though, at first I didn't love it. On paper, 1,775 horsepower sounds ridiculous, but numbers don't scare me anymore. Every new EV claims insane acceleration now. What stopped me was the engine philosophy. A naturally aspirated V16 in 2026 feels almost irresponsible, like Bugatti is daring the industry to shut the lights off behind them. And then you hear it rev. Not scream, not growl, it climbs. There's this mechanical smoothness to it that doesn't feel digital, doesn't feel filtered. It feels like something built by people who still care about metal, friction, and sound waves. Cosworth helped develop this engine, and you can feel it. This isn't a boosted motor chasing torque, it's an engine that wants to spin. And that's where the hybrid system actually becomes smart. The electric motors don't overpower the V16. They fill the gaps, they smooth the low end, they give instant response before the engine wakes up. So instead of turbo lag, you get anticipation. You press the pedal, and there's this half second where everything lines up, and then the engine comes alive. But here's something people aren't talking about enough. This car weighs more than you think. That 24.8 kilowatt-hour battery isn't small. The motors aren't light. And even with all the carbon and engineering magic, this isn't some featherweight track weapon. And that's okay, because Bugatti didn't build this to chase lap times. They built it to feel important at any speed, even crawling through traffic. Inside, that philosophy hits you immediately. No massive screen screaming for attention, no futuristic gimmicks that'll look outdated in 5 years. Instead, there's this insane analog instrument cluster made from titanium and sapphire. It looks like a mechanical watch exploded in the best way possible. Bugatti says it's designed to last 100 years, and for once, that doesn't feel like marketing. You don't interact with it, you observe it. And the fixed hub steering wheel? It sounds like a gimmick until you sit behind it. The wheel stays still, the gauges don't move, everything feels centered, grounded. But here's my first real criticism. For a car that celebrates mechanical purity, some of the interior materials feel surprisingly safe. Beautiful, yes, but safe. I expected something more raw, more exposed carbon, more visual drama. Instead, parts of it feel polite. Another thing, the electric driving mode. I get why it exists, regulations, city zones, future-proofing, but let's be real. Nobody's buying a Bugatti Tourbillon to drive silently to the grocery store, and pretending otherwise feels a little dishonest. It's cool that it can do it, but emotionally, it's irrelevant. Now, let's talk about speed. 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds. Top speed limited to 277 miles per hour. Those numbers are absurd, but what's more absurd is that Bugatti hardly talks about them, because they know that's not what matters anymore. The Tourbillon isn't trying to dominate headlines, it's trying to justify its own existence. And that's rare. Most hypercars today feel like tech demos with leather seats. This feels like a decision, a risky one, because by choosing a naturally aspirated V16, Bugatti is also choosing a future where this car might never have a true successor. And that's the part that hits hardest. This might be the last Bugatti that feels human. Not because it's slow, not because it's simple, but because it's emotional in a way that doesn't scale. You can't mass-produce this mindset. You can't software update this philosophy. But let me be fair, there's another concern: complexity. A V16, 3 electric motors, a large battery, insane cooling requirements. Long-term ownership is going to be interesting. This isn't a car you daily, it's a car you preserve. And if you're someone who believes cars should be driven hard, often, and without fear, this might bother you. Still, standing next to it, those concerns fade, because the Tourbillon doesn't ask for your approval. It doesn't try to convince you. It just exists. And in a world where everything is optimized, filtered, and algorithm approved, that feels rebellious. So no, this isn't the next Chiron. It's not even trying to be. This is Bugatti saying goodbye to an era on their own terms. And whether you love it or not, you can't ignore it. If this really is the last of its kind, then honestly, it's a hell of a way to go. This is Prime Drive Studios, and I want to know, does this car make you excited for the future or nostalgic for what we're about to lose?